What is up, guys? Control here. In today's video is going to be on Darius and the Harrowing. Basically just another Noxus deck that looks to, well, this one utilizes allegiance, but it looks to just end games very quickly. One of the reasons why you're seeing Noxus everywhere is just because of how powerful Weimar is. One thing you're going to notice is there's a ton of different lists right now. They're doing super well in ladder. People are hitting rank 1 non-stop with decks like this just because higher up you are seeing a ton of Weimar on Masters ladder right now, I believe. So what people are doing is just countering it with the very solid, fast package that Noxus offers. Basically what they do is play Saboteur, Pet, Disciple, Demolitionist, Grenadier, Transfusion, Fervor, and Decimate in every single one of these Noxus decks because it is just such a cheap and damage-filled package that you have that really just allows you to abuse your opponents, not having too much early game. But you can look at this. This is what we played today. It's also like a Allegiance list with the Omen Hawk and Raider from Freljord. You got a Elusive Burn. You have a GP version even. And then you also have good old Teemo Burn, which is basically just like the old PNC Noxus Burn. But the thing that's overlapping in every single one of these decks is that exact same Noxus early game package. It is just so oppressive. And in my opinion, maybe a little bit too strong. Hard to say, but you know, you might want to see some tweaks here. Again, Burn has already been nerfed with Rearguard and Rookie. And I mean, if Rearguard was not nerfed, man, let me tell you, these decks would be even better than they are right now. You know, if you give every single one of them 9 very solid 1-drops to be running in their lists, then, you know, these type of Allegiance decks would just be kind of insane. And, you know, that's really about it. But, you know, the lists are all very similar because, you know, the main component of them winning is going to be this core early game package with Noxus. Then you have the rest of the cards as your supporting cards for the deck. So you're going to see basically all of them run like 20 similar cards at least, just a little bit over 20, 22, 23. And then they just have like their flavor package for whatever they want to do. You know, sometimes it's like P and Z burn cards that give you some more damage. You got some GP cards that kind of just do the same thing, and GP for some top end. You have elusive cards to kind of just be uninteractive. And then you have like the Freljord cards. And I mean, these two lists are very similar. This one is just a little bit more early game focused, whereas this one has a little more top end. So you kind of just pick your poison with that. But for the most part, these decks are just very similar at their core because really the way that they win is by just drawing this early game package of Noxus and going base right off the bat, basically. Having a 1-drop is just so crucial in these decks, especially when you're on odds that, you know, if you don't see a Saboteur Pet, they're most likely just going to lose. So I would say that's kind of unfortunate and honestly kind of frustrating to play decks like this because when you only have 6 1s, it's not always going to be that likely you're going to have a 1-drop on 1. That's probably like one of the most likely ways that I actually lost with decks like this is just kind of getting out pressured by other aggro decks when they did. And I found that because Noxus is so popular right now, it kind of just became like a card draw simulator when I was playing this list. I played 10 games, so I didn't play too many. We went 5 and 5. Definitely had some good games where, you know, we had some fun with Darius and the Harrowing, popping off with that. But also had some games where, you know, I played against another Noxus deck. They had 1-drops and I didn't, so I just didn't get to play the game. Which kind of sucked and is one of the reasons why I'm not grinding with a deck like this, even though I really do enjoy aggro. You know, I find that if you're climbing with this really fast, you're kind of just getting lucky for a little bit. Definitely have to play well too and pick the right version of the Noxus package to climb. So don't get me wrong, it's not like completely skillless or anything, but it found that I wasn't making too many decisions per game, so I decided to just go back to Karma, which we're doing really well with. I'm not actually a very big fan of Karma either, but I went 12-2 day 1 with that and 9-2 day 2, and we're like middle of D3 right now. Don't play too much, and you know, hopefully today we'll go to D2, D1 the day after Masters or something, but yeah, that's about it for this package. It just does very well against Weimar, and you're seeing this core across basically every Noxus deck is being played right now just because of how strong it is. That's about it with that. So to talk about this deck individually, we've already gone over the core package that are in all the decks. To talk about why they're strong, Saboteur and Pet are just very powerful 1-drops. Saboteur obviously because you get the extra 1 damage, and Pet because no other ones really block it. Disciple, Demolitionist, Transfusion. Pretty dumb combo. Everybody's played against this. You just know how stupid it is. Not too much to say there. Grenadier is just a very powerful 2-drop that gives you the last wish of 2 damage, which again is very good in this list with Harrowing. Very good combo there. Decimate, that means just 5 mana deal 4. I'm not the biggest fan of this card, but it's very good in this metagame where you just need to kill people. Champion-wise in this deck, you got Draven and Darius. Draven is just a decent 3-drop that gives you some axes. It's really not that bad. You know, you can get value from them if you have too many Harrowings in hand. If you get a bad draw, kind of, you just like discard those cards, which is good. And Darius is just Darius, solid. You get buffed. Does a lot with Harrowing. That's about it for that. You have your overwhelm cards with Iron Ballista and Basilisk Rider. Rider obviously working because this is a Allegiance deck, and Iron Ballista just being a 4/3 overwhelm, Basilisk Rider being a 6/4, I believe. Both decent cards. They're not insane. They get removed a lot, but You know, if removal is used on them, then maybe it's not used on Darius, so that's all good. You also do get them back with Harrowing, which is really good. Kiddo the Arm is a 1-of. This could easily be another transfusion. I almost do feel like that's a better change, actually. But, you know, just playing with the listed hand rank with 1, so that's what we're jamming with. Decent card. I mean, you have a lot of cards with Overwhelm, but it helps some of the smaller ones. Maybe like Draven, Grenadier, get some Overwhelm pop off with that. And you get Atrocity and Harrowing at the end. Atrocity is really good with Darius, obviously. There's really not too much to say with that. It's just a very solid card. You know, you attack with him, get the Overwhelm damage, play Atrocity after the end of the game. That's about it. And Harrowing, I mean, is just insane. It's a very good late game bomb, and sometimes you'll even be able to play it on your defense phase to one of your opponents really low. With the Grenadiers that you'll pull back, they will have the last wish to do damage in the end of the game for you. So make sure you're looking out for that. As far as mulligans go, definitely look for 1-drops. There's no doubt about that. And look for stuff like Disciple Grenadier as well. I would say if you're on odds, hard mulling for 1s is usually just going to be correct. I feel like playing for triple 1s where you go a 1-drop on turn 1, two 1-drops on turn 2. It's not very good just because there's only 6 in the deck, so it's not that likely. Even if you have 2 in your hand already, you're going to get the 3rd. So don't do that. I'd say play for Disciple into like Ballista. So just like curves are really good here, and playing kind of for like Transfusion and Fervor are big things, and those are ways you're going to be able to win a lot of games. Is if you do have ways to kind of outplay your opponent with Transfusion, you're going to make them take a bad trade, make them grasp like a Draven Transfusion, your Disciple buff the Draven up, so their 5 spell mana is kind of just wasted. That's about it. Again, like a relatively straightforward deck to play, and has a kind of a similar playstyle to the good old P&Z burn if you guys played that a couple patches ago. Very strong deck, very fast to play with, alongside all of these other options as well, right? These are very quick decks, and one of the reasons why they're played a lot is just because your game time's low. You go in, you play a game, you get out, right? You can play probably 5 games of this deck at the time it takes me to play 1 really long game with Spooky Karma. So, you know, if you do well, get lucky a little bit, you'll climb faster than I will. That's about it. Enjoy the gameplay, guys. I don't have too much for you today, because I mean, I only played like 10 games with it, but I tried to pick some good ones, and I hope you enjoy it, and I hope your climb's going well. So, if you guys enjoy the video, let me know in the comments. Have a great day. Thanks for watching. Appreciate it. Peace out. Quinn MF. It's a throwback to the start of Rising Tides, man. I get double 1s. Because I have a Grenadier and I only have 6 1-drops, it's not worth mulling everything for a second 1-drop. I also think the early trades are fine. Like, I don't think I need to get the pet damage in, just do the Saboteur things. It should be okay. Sure.
I have my orders.
You just hear that shit?
Moving into sight.
My uncle's motorcycle, let's go. Nice. I love it. You gotta rev your motorcycle so the whole neighborhood knows you have a fat cock. Yeah. I feel like it's just a rite of passage if you're a 60-year-old white male. You have to get a motorcycle and just let everybody and their fucking mom know that you ride one. It's crucial.
Can't fight on an empty stomach. Noxus lives on.
You started telling me I should play Teemo? This is a very bad metagame to play Teemo, my friends. I love Teemo, I'm a huge fan of him, but right now is not the time, I don't think. I think it's an open. Play Gauntlet yet? No. Gauntlet's just ladder, but like 5 times easier, basically. I'll probably get 7 wins for the icon, like in a couple days when I hit Masters. But for now, I'm just testing decks out and trying to hit Masters quick. Well, we'll see though. Maybe I get bored of Masters ladder and I... Thank God, dude. That's like the first time in I think a month that I've seen Abandonment not hit. Actually insane. I thought that card just always worked. It's crazy that it didn't though. So he kills Ballista with the challenge here. Unless we have Fervor and we Fervor his thing.
Field is yours.
I guess we just Fervor the Ballista face though. Yeah. This game's looking good so far. You can't do that much here, just because we have so much damage at the moment. So, what are we doing? These blocks should just be fine. Do that for his face. Maybe this is better because this card kind of just like does stuff. The Warships makes the Protege better. I think we do that. I think it should still be Darius over the Harrowing. What does Harrowing give us? 2 Grenadiers, I guess, are pretty good, but it's not gonna be lethal. And I guess I could do the Harrowing to block on turn 7 anyways to win. I also have Decimate too, so it's not really like that big of a deal. I feel like it should be this. I don't really understand what he can play to beat it. He doesn't really have units with like health that are that high, and he's not gonna be like running cards like Detain. So like that's okay.
I command you to halt.
But he loses it, he goes to 1. My Darius isn't dead yet. It's also all of his mana, so he's not gonna be able to open attack and win, which means we just get the win, I think. Just good.
The wood can't fight back.
Genevieve Gamer, man. Yeah, let's play the Harrowing. It's more cool. We get the Grenadiers back. Grenadiers, we need a game. It's actually one of the reasons why the Harrowing is really good is because of the Grenadiers. It's definitely one of the cards that makes it a lot stronger because it does have 3 attacks, so it gets summoned over a lot of other stuff. And I mean, it is kind of just like a hey, I win type of card now. Good stuff. That was one of the better matchups and one we actually got to saw what the deck did as far as the top end went. What is going on with Ionia PNZ? What am I missing here? Elusive stuff with Burn? I'm just gonna look for a 1-drop. I don't even think I want Draven here. Draven feels like he's a lot more useful, sorry, against like other Noxus decks. Outside of that, I think that I would rather just have like cards like the Ballista in most cases on like 2 or 3. I think I'm still gonna play the Ballista over Draven. The overwhelm is just so strong. I guess it's like a lot worse for trading, and I don't have any information on his deck. But I mean, like I said, I don't really have a but I mean transition comment there. But I feel like it's better. Could be wrong. So Static Mystic would clear anyways, if that's what he has. No Mystic is pretty huge. I feel like at any point when you just like land a Ballista or something like this and they just connect and you do the 4, you're gonna be pretty favored to win.
I will play my part.
Some Porks map shenanigans is also possible. Yeah, it's true. Sure. You're not wrong. Could be some J Madara stuff. I think I do like this over opening. It's like really the only response that I give him is like Thermo, and if he Thermos here, I'm really happy because it's all of his mana. Whereas like all of the other ones just go through during combat. So prefer to develop another unit to push a little bit more usually. Sure, that's fine. Okay. The attack button, see what he does. Can you just chill Decimates to sleep next round instead of have to use an axe or anything to discard? And he's going. Like I said, discarding a Darius is probably okay too. It's likely not that bad. So health potions are going to be an issue. That's about it, I guess. Deny is also kind of a problem. Double Fervor. Okay. I think I just play for units here over going for Decimate. It feels stronger to me to do that. Because he's probably going to have some burst spells, right, with the Drinker of Clouds. This is the first time, I think, outside of Expedition, anybody has ever played this card against me. Hey, it's a health potion we're talking about. Crazy that people would play that. Rummage. This has to be a J Madara deck, right? With maybe like Assembly Bot or something? I'm not too sure what else the top end combo would be, but something along those lines. So he cycles, looks for Will of Ionia, basically. Let's take the damage here. Ow, my shoulder. Then I'm gonna hit the attack button here, I think. And we just basically say your move. Deep Meditation. Hey, that's like, it's a 2-mana Deep Meditation. It's like before the Heimer buff. It was 2 mana as well. Cool to see. Okay. Well, that's unfortunate, but I mean, those things happen. Good game. Value cards aren't always the best against decks that try to kill you quickly. Braum, okay. Is this Braum with just like elusives if it's Ionia Freljord? Could just be. I don't think I keep Fervor. I have a 1 and 2, which is really good. Definitely above average. Hey, Zach. Thanks, dude. Appreciate it. Hope you have a good day as well. Do you have Fervor in the deck? Yes, sir. Yeah. Fervor is a good card, believe it or not. I guess a better question is, what Noxus deck right now does not run Fervor? That's a good question, man. Maybe some Yasuo stuff?
The Yordle here's with me. Full speed ahead.
Who's gonna get in my way?
So my take so far for this deck is, it feels like it's pretty much a card draw simulator for the most part. It seems like games where you have 1s and 2s is very good, and games where you don't, it feels very underwhelming. There's also a few more things to look at, like Allegiance missing, stuff like that matters as well, but it feels like it's kind of a card draw simulator deck where you just really want to hit your big spikes
Fun, yes?
and pop with like the overwhelm cards here, and that's really how you do well with the deck. Could be wrong. It's a lot of pros that are very mighty, unfortunately. Darius is good. If I attack here, I get 3 damage with this if he doesn't block with Braum. So if he doesn't want Braum to die, then I get some damage, and then I can just double decimate for lethal. Otherwise, I give him an opportunity to play bigger cards. So I feel like I probably just open attack and try to go for double decimate. Like, I guess I have Demolitionist too, so it's not only double decimate that wins, but yeah. So like here, I basically lose the game there. I think I don't push any damage. His Braum gets a lot of value, and I'm technically 1 off, I guess. So definitely not ideal. Should play stuff that I can block with here, I think. If I Demolitionist, I get Darius online as well. So that seems good to me. Yeah, I think I like it. Yeah, I don't know. My take on this game so far, I guess this deck in general, is that it feels strong and it's probably a good deck to grind games with, but it's not like the most thrilling list to play with, I would say. It would not really wager this is like the most engaging deck in the entire world to jam games with. Double Porosax. Wobble Weewa. This guy's playing out of his mind here. Puts me at 3. Hit the Fervor button. Put him to 8. And then, well, I'm gonna do what good players do. And you, I guess, would good players play around Deny or Will? I guess I have to play into both anyways, right? If I want to go for that line. So I guess I just do Decimates to only play into Deny. He shouldn't run Natural Healing, so the Deny line should be the better one, I think. Yeah. If I play Darius, he just blocks with Braum, then I only do 4, and I guess I have lethal with the Decimate then, but I feel like this is just a play. Okay, GG. Yeah, but I mean, like just being there and almost just having exact lethal just shows how important having the pet plus the Grenadier was early game. And the big thing with that is there's just not enough good 1-drops to run, I find, in decks like this.